have Uncle Geoff, but Uncle Geoff is not here this evening. So he has already sent a pre-recorded message through, and I'm just, if you could start that for us, please.
Hello everyone, slim pickings this week on the Game Changer bars, but let's have a look at them, shall we? First up is this one, Euro Kiwi, and suggesting that this big reversal bar off the monthly pivot, which of course is a Game Changer bar, is going to send the market down at least towards this area, but there's not much reward in that if you're going to take that much risk. And there is another support level just below it as well. So I think I'll be not taking this one. To actually trade it, you'd want a fairly decent pullback, I would have thought. And I was just not interested. In fact, I think I'd be rather going the other way if I got a higher low in here. So Euro Kiwi is not one that I'll be looking to trade this week. The next and only other is Euro Yen. And of course, we do have a Game Changer bar here, but we had a Game Changer bar last week, and we had one the week before as well. So this one's all over the place, and very, very difficult to predict as to which way it's going to go or break out of this range that we're currently in. Again, same story as Euro Kiwi. I think the downside is limited here until we break through this level, then come back and retest it. Then I'd be interested in going short, but not at this point. That brings me to the three charts that I'm interested in this week. Not game changers, but the Aussie yen is first up, and I do qualify this with saying that we do have an RBA statement coming out on Tuesday. So the best case scenario, I think, for me is if I do get into these trades, I'll get into them tomorrow at some stage and hopefully be free trading by the time the RBA statement comes around. Now, this too is a little bit tricky in that we've had a high test bar followed by a low test bar. If I have a look at the bigger picture on this one, if I go to the monthly chart, I can see very, very clearly that we've had a breakout of this 80.27 level. We've come back to the top side of this trend line, and the course of least resistance appears to me to be back to these highs. Now that's the monthly, that is the monthly chart. The weekly chart is telling me another story, and we do have resistance dead ahead. So that's a little bit tricky, but I do see or spot a little range that we've come to like in here. A little bit of consolidation in that range prior to the high as well. So I think if I concentrate on that area, and I can see a lovely little target up here, then perhaps on the smaller time frames we can look to get a trade in here. I want to see a pullback, however. I don't want to just enter at the top of that bar, but a pullback on the smaller time frames does look to be interesting to me. You might even have to go down, to 4 hour or something like that to get into this tomorrow if you so choose. But I think the course of least resistance, as I said, is long, and if we can get in here and the RBA plays the ball, we could get a decent run off Aussie yen long. I was actually in this short last week, but I have changed allegiances, so I'd love to see a monthly pivot test and something like that sitting there. Then that would be eminently tradable for me. Aussie Swissy, not dissimilar, but again, I see a bigger picture that suggests to me that this one's going long as well. Looking at the daily chart at the moment, the bigger picture, as I said before, is, well, on the monthly chart it's not that clear, but on the weekly chart I do see this rejection of the monthly pivot. That's a bar I do like to trade, and I think that was eminently tradable last week. Didn't trade it, however, because the reward wasn't there. I don't think the reward's that great. But if I get zoom in a little bit further, I think you can see a trend line coming down here as well. I'll put that in. And if that is broken and retested, particularly if this high is taken out, I think this is off and running. Already we have the look of, in my mind, a higher low in here. Maybe that was tradable last week. I didn't trade it. But the pullback here is interesting. I would like to see on the daily charts a pullback to this trend line here. And then I think that would be eminently tradable once again. The problem is that will run us into Tuesday, and that will be the RBA statement. So I'm probably looking to pick it up on a smaller time frame, 4 hour. If I get a pullback here now, that would be interesting to put an entry above it. But you've got to take on these highs, so it will be a little bit tricky. But I'm dead set keen to get long here, both the Aussie on the yen and the Swiss. CAD yen is the final one that I'm looking at today, and this is pretty clear that we are in a range. That's the daily chart. The bigger picture is telling me probably quite the reverse, that this looks like it's going long, and that's fine. In the longer term, I'm quite up for that, but in the shorter term, I think this range in here is telling me everything I need to know. These highs over here are very much a part of that picture as well, and I think that range actually extends over this side of what maybe is a head and shoulders, getting long in the tooth for that. But this resistance area is attractive, and if I can find on any chart really, daily looks very, very interesting with that tweezer top sitting on top of that range. I think maybe a test of the monthly pivot would be interesting. Then we came back and put in a lower high. I think I'd be dead set keen to go short CAD yen. A lot will depend on the OPEC meetings, which are taking place tomorrow as well, as to which way this one goes, because the Canadian dollar is very much related to what oil does. So there you go. I'm looking for a short CAD yen, long Aussie Swiss, long Aussie yen, and I think they will be the ones I'll be concentrating on during the week. Just need a little bit of help from the market or from price in the early stages. That for this week is my 2 cents worth.
And thank you very much for that, Geoff, even though you're not here. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation this evening, everybody. Stay safe during the week and happy trading. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.